Welcome back to the channel from Nosy B, Madagascar. So, somebody asked me, what's the score with exporting rare exotic animals? Well, I don't know a great deal about that. What I do know is the punishment for exporting drugs out of Madagascar, if you get caught in Madagascar, is maybe up to 10 years in prison and maybe a fine of $5,000. Now, you try exporting an animal illegally from Madagascar, or fauna, plants, seeds, anything like that, or especially animals that are rare in Madagascar, you try exporting them and you get caught trying to smuggle them out the country, you can get something like lifetime in prison and an unlimited fine of, it could be like 150,000 US dollar. Could be a long prison sentence. I know a guy who got caught with cannabis resin. He got caught with cannabis resin and he had about 200 deals worth of it, all wrapped up, ready to sell. And he went through his house and he found tortoises, 100 baby tortoises that he took out the forest, ready to send to Tanner to sell to rich Malagas who live in Tanner, who want a pet tortoise for their apartment. Right, that was his plan. And they caught him. He got like not really any big problem for the cannabis. But the tortoises, they put him in prison for 18 months for that and fined him about 15 million, about 3,000 US dollar, something like that. So, got to be careful. If you're going to export animals, it's got to be done the right way, through the right channels. And I do believe the person who's in charge of export permits for that sort of stuff is a close friend of the president of Madagascar. And to get that job position, you need to be a close friend of the president of Madagascar, because everybody needs a cut of the money, and you're going to have to pay a lot of money to get the permits, to get everything you need. You're going to need residency, you're going to need a business set up, you're going to need a bank account in Madagascar set up, you're going to have to send the money to your bank and then send it to somebody who's probably connected to the government for that. Well, 100% connected to the government for that. But I think there's only one person who's got the rights to allow people to export animals, and I think that's just the one person in Antananarivo who's got the right connections. But it's all definitely possible, because money talks in Madagascar. You got dollar, you can export animals, no problem. There you go, that's about all I know on exporting animals and that. You want to export vanilla, same story. One of the I think it's the president's best mate. He's the one, you have to contact him and he'll decide whether you can or can't export vanilla, depending on the friendship you have with him. So there you go. It all goes through him though. Basically the vanilla's picked, it's sold to the dealers, and then the dealers sell it to him, and then he exports it through his contacts. Sapphires, you can export sapphires if you want. You can do that. Get a license to do that. People do it. It's mainly most of them go to Sri Lanka or Thailand. The best sapphires in the world, apparently, Madagascar sapphires. So you can do that, but there's connections with mafia and all sorts of mess. It's not easy. You know, you can't just walk in, start buying sapphires and happily walk out. It's not that easy, but it's possible to do it. Endangered wood, again, it's not really meant to be exported. It happens. Chinese love it. They export it. They get caught with container loads of it each year in the ports. And I guess money exchanges hands. I don't know what happens to the wood. I take it goes anyway. Get on that container ship. See you later. I don't know. I really don't know. I know they're trying to stop it. Some people in the country are trying to stop endangered wood leaving. But it's everywhere. You see it at night time on lorries and stuff like that. It's happening. It's getting moved around the country. Chopped trees, chopped down, and that's the way it is. Human bones, A lot of human bones, containers of human bones, they end up in China for medicine, stuff like that. Dug out of cemeteries and stuff overnight. Even human organ trafficking happens in Madagascar. A lot of albinos. Dangerous to be an albino in Madagascar, especially if you're a kid. You can lose your private parts, you can lose your eyeballs, and you can lose your life, because they don't want you talking once they've took your private parts and your eyeballs. So there you go. That's about it for this video. Exporting rare and exotic items from Madagascar. You need the connections. You need to come here, live here, make the right connections, and fill the right forms in, if you know what I mean. Thanks for watching from Nosy B, Madagascar.